Sri Lanka, where I speak to you now from, currently holds the unprivileged position of being the second most country affected by global climate change. This is according to a recent summit of the UN presented in Poland in December 2018. It seems now that global warming is fully cast on us like a spell. The witch, unlike in the stories we know, is here to stay and outlive us. In mid-2018, Germany's Max Planck Institute forecasted that summer temperatures in Middle East and North Africa alone will rise twice as fast as the global average. This means that heat from global warming could rise so high in the Gulf, likely over 50 degrees Celsius, so living there would be impossible. Ocean levels have already gone up due to global warming that may soon engulf island nations such as the Maldives. It seems that all efforts to halt emissions release, such as deploying renewable energy, afforestation, saving the corals, and so on, may just not be sufficient. All these initiatives now being done might be far too little, far too late. We have to ask ourselves, hasn't humankind not demonstrated the biggest management blunder of all time? How safe will it be for the unborn and the future generations? Are we leaving behind a shameful legacy for them? Will CO2 levels ever shrink from the current 410 parts per million levels back to normal readings at 290 about 100 years ago? The more flow of emissions there will be no ending to the global warming problem. Along with effects what's already up there, there will be a multiply effect, a total disaster. Therefore, removing carbon back to Earth has to take equal, if not more importance in our global efforts. So how could we literally bring back the carbon or suck it back to the Earth from the air? This process is known as carbon sequestration, which is by no means an easy task, but seems like we have no other choice. Carbon sequestration has already been tried by retrofitting power plants with advanced technology, capturing and storing carbon dioxide underground, work on coral reefs, and so on. These methods themselves may demand excessive energy and again leading to more emissions. However, growing trees stands out as the most promising, affordable, and simplest method to sequester carbon. A fully grown tree will sequester about 1 ton of carbon in its lifetime of 40 years. It is perceived that if we all get together and say grow 100 million trees worldwide, this will reduce at least 100 million tons of carbon from the air. There are some who may argue that tree cover worldwide has actually increased over the last 35 years or so. While this may be true, this increase is hardly sufficient to offset the unrestrained leap of CO2 levels now in mammoth proportions in air. Hence, in overall terms, the current emissions offsetting work one sees across the globe will be way out of target if we don't couple it with carbon sequestration. That is, to bring back the carbon back to the earth, so to speak. The Lorax in Dr. Suizer's famous book tells us that unless we care an awful lot, the world will come to a slow and lingering end. The Lorax says that time has come to set aside our notions of bickering at the expense of the environment. The saga between the Lorax and the Onceler is a tell-all piece on how humans could be so irresponsible on the environment, on the one hand. But the ending in Lorax carries a message about caring an awful lot. I hope my mention of the Lorax will bring some nostalgic moments to some of you, and how you, as a child, may have conjured up what the world ought to be. Taking a cue from the Lorax along with our own thoughts, we have initiated a worldwide supported program, that's a web supported program called Unlessnow Org. The Unlessnow program tries to create a global carbon canopy. I request you to join us at unlessnow.org and help us in planting even a single tree, irrespective of where you live. Unlessnow has a global target to sequester carbon by growing at least 100 million trees in 10 years, in 50 countries at least. We can do some more if we want. We are now looking to connect with people and groups who can represent us in each country. If you represent a country of interest, please contact us. What other ways can you help and support Unlessnow? Firstly, you can help get direct sponsorships from well-wishers, donors, so on, who aspire for a greener world. Secondly, we have set up a search page, Click and Grow a Tree, where theoretically each ad search by you will generate revenues for growing trees. Just try using our website unlessnow.org, which is now your website, and you will see how easy it is to help this global effort. It may be a small move you may have or make by joining Unlessnow, but likely to be a gigantic step to ensure the welfare of future generations and the unborn.